Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the A&D Talk Show. Destiny had a family emergency and will not be able to arrive today. But anyways, tonight you are all in for quite the treat. We have 4 special individuals that will be making an appearance. Their names are Anna Quinlan, Alan Blinder, Jane Goodall, and Desmond Tutu. Our first guest will be Anna Quinlan. Here she is.
Hey, it's great to be here.
It's great to have you. Now let's get down to business. You probably have quite the busy schedule. So Anna Marie Quinlan, you are an American author, journalist, and an opinion columnist. What does it feel like to be so successful, to succeed and follow your dreams?
Well, I'll tell you, it does feel pretty great. I've worked so hard on my life to get to where I am now. I appreciate hard work.
I bet you do. I am truly inspired. I also know that you have earned a Pulitzer Prize. Can you tell us about that?
Of course, I earned that prize for commentary in my New York Times column, Public and Private. I believe I started journalism for New York Times in 1974. Yes, 1974. It was definitely a good day for me that day. Between 1977 and 1994, I held several posts at the New York Times. In 1999, I joined Newsweek, writing a bi-weekly column until I announced my semi-retirement in May 18, 2009 issue of the magazine.
Incredible. So I hear you are known as a critic of what you perceive to be the fast-paced and increasingly materialistic nature of modern American life. I also hear that most of the stuff you write about is about your mother. Can you tell us more?
Sure. I write most of my personal stuff about my mother. She died at the young age of 40 of ovarian cancer. It was devastating. I miss her every passing day that she's gone. I just hope that she's in a better place without all the suffering and pain.
Speaking of family, can you tell us more about your background, about your family?
Well, I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My father was Irish, my mother Italian. I graduated South Brunswick High School in South Brunswick, New Jersey, and then attended Barnard College, from which I graduated in 1974. I married New Jersey attorney Gerald Crovatton, whom I met while I was in college.
Well, you were one busy woman. Anyway, some of your books were made into movies. Tell us which ones.
Okay, I have 5 best-selling books, 3 of which were made into movies. One True Thing was made into a film in 1998. Meryl Streep received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. I was so proud of her. She worked so hard and did so well with her part. Black and Blue and Blessings were also made into television movies around 1999 and 2003.
Wow, that's amazing. It was great to have you, but sadly our time is up. Next on the show we have Alan Blinder. Blinder was born to a Jewish family in Brooklyn, New York on October 14, 1945. He graduated from Sunset High School in Sunset, New York. Blinder received his undergraduate degree in economics from Princeton, graduating summa cum laude in 1967. He subsequently gained an MSc in economics from the London School of Economics in 1968. And then received his doctorate in economics from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 1971. He is also married with 2 sons. What an incredible man. And well, here he is.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor for being here.
It is an honor to have you. So can you tell us a little bit about your academic career? I'm sure all of us are dying to find out more about you.
Well, why not? I've been at Princeton since 1971, chairing the economics department from 1988 to 1990. I'm a past president of the Eastern Economic Association and vice president of the American Economic Association, and I was named a distinguished fellow of the latter in 2011. I have been a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences since 1991, a member of the American Philosophical Society since 1996, and a member of the Board of the Council on Foreign Relations since 2008. My textbook, Economics, Principle and Policy, co-written with William Baumol, I have to give my colleague credit, otherwise it could not be fair, was first published in 1979 and in 2012 was printed in its 12th edition. My recent academic works have been focused particularly on monetary policy and central banking.
Amazing! You must have kept yourself pretty busy. How about your political career? Can you share some information about that with all of us?
I would be delighted. I have served as the Deputy Assistant Director of the Congressional Budget Office in 1975, on President Bill Clinton's Council of Economic Advisors from January 1993 through June 1994, and as Vice Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System from June 1994 to January 1996. As Vice Chairman, I cautioned against raising interest rates too quickly to slow inflation because of the lags and earlier rises feeding through into the economy. I also warned against ignoring the short-term costs in terms of unemployment that inflation fighting could cause. I was also an advisor to Al Gore and John Kerry during their respective presidential campaigns in 2000 and 2004.
Wow, Alan. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. I hope to see you again in the future. Up next, we have Jane Goodall. Jane is an animal lover, but especially loves chimpanzees. Jane Morse Goodall, born Valerie Jane Morse Goodall on April 3, 1934, is an English primatologist, ethologist, anthropologist, and UN Messenger of Peace. She is considered to be the world's foremost expert on chimpanzees. Goodall is best known for her 55-year study of social and family interactions of wild chimpanzees in Gombe Stream National Park, Tanzania. Come on in, Jane.
Why, hello, Olivia. It is just fantastic to be here with you. What questions do you have for me today?
Eager to begin. Well, why don't we start off with your early life? What triggered you to have such an interest in chimpanzees?
I was born in London, England in 1934 to Mortimer Herbert Morris Goodall, a businessman, and Margaret Myfanwy Joseph, a novelist who wrote under the name Von Morris Goodall. As a child, I was given a lifelike chimpanzee toy named Jubilee by my father. My fondness for the toy started my early love of animals. Today, the toy still sits on my dresser in London. As I wrote in my book, Reason for Hope, my mother's friends were horrified by this toy, thinking it would frighten me and give me nightmares. Well, weren't they wrong? I also have a sister, Judith, who shares the same birthday as me, though we were born 4 years apart.
That stuffed animal sounds like it would scare a child, but you proved them wrong. Two siblings born 4 years apart, but share the same birthday? That's not something you hear every day. So how long have you been studying chimpanzees? And what is it about them that you study?
It's been a crazy but wonderful 55 years that I've been studying chimpanzees. Which, yes, that would make me 81, but I still feel like the young woman that traveled to the Gombe Stream National Park and studied the chimpanzees. I mostly study their social and family interactions amongst themselves.
55 years? That must have been amazing. Well, Jane, this sadly concludes our time. Hope to see you again soon. Up next, we have Desmond Tutu. He is a South African social activist and retired Anglican bishop who became famous worldwide in the 1980s as an opponent of apartheid. So let us welcome him to the show. Here is Desmond Tutu.
Well, Olivia, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Then let's get right to it. My first question is, what first comes to your mind when you think about how many fans or admirers you have?
What comes to mind? Thankfulness. Thankfulness comes to mind, because without the support of them, I probably would have not gotten my voice or my thoughts out there for people to see. And because of that, I'm forever grateful.
Well, Desmond, well said. All right, Desmond, how about you tell us a little bit more about your background?
Well, I was born on October 7th, 1931, in Klerksdorp, Transvaal. I am the second child of 4 children of my father, Zachariah Zalilo Tutu, and my mother, Alida Tutu. I am their only son. My family moved to Johannesburg when I was 12. My father was a teacher, my mother was a cleaner, and a cook at the school for the blind. There I met Trevor Huddleston, who was a parish priest in the black slum of Sophiatown. One day I was standing in the street with my mother when a white man in a priest's clothing walked past. As he passed us, he took off his hat to my mother. I couldn't believe my eyes. A white man who greeted a black working-class woman.
Wow, that must have been surprising. Now, can you explain to us what you've done in your career or life?
I have campaigned to fight HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, poverty, racism, sexism, the imprisonment of Chelsea Manning, homophobia, and transphobia. I received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1984, the Albert Schweitzer Prize for Humanitarianism in 1986, the Passon and Terrace Award in 1987, the Sydney Peace Prize in 1999, the Gandhi Peace Prize in 2007, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009. I've also compiled several books of my speeches and sayings.
Desmond, you have truly inspired me in your line of work. You are a very brave and courageous man. I heard about some troubling times in your past. Would you like to share that with us?
Yes, I will share that with you. In 1997, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. It was a devastating blow, but I went and got treatment, and successfully, it went away. I'm so glad that I got through that ordeal with the grace of the dear Lord above and with all my supporters, including my family. Thank you, everyone who prayed for me.
Thank you so much, Desmond, for sharing with us today. I sure hope you keep your health up. I will send my prayers to you, but unfortunately, that's all we have for today. Tune in next time on the A&D Show.